Venom, Sandman, and the New Goblin. These were the ingredients to make the perfect Spider-Man movie. But Professor Raimi unwillingly added a secret ingredient to the concoction. Sony execs. And thus, Spider-Man 3 was born. Dun, 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 dun. The following review contains spoilers. You have been warned. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Purple Husky Man. And today I am going to unleash my new series, Fan Least Favorites. What I'll be doing is I'll be going over different things that are in a franchise that the fans don't like, and that's pretty much the basis of it. If you can't read titles, today I will be reviewing Spider-Man 3. And I'd just like to say, I like Spider-Man 3. What? Spider-Man 3? Oh my goodness! That is the worst Spider-Man thing ever made! There's little Venom, and then they got Eric Roman from that TV show, and Santa, Mary Jane is just alive, and is this gag unfunny yet? Now, I'm not saying this is a perfect movie. Oh no, I'm not saying that at all. It is definitely the weakest of the trilogy, but I still think it has some enjoyable moments. Let me go over why I don't think Spider-Man 3 is quite as bad as everybody says it is. Now, a common complaint I hear is Peter Parker, just how his character is in general in this movie. Many say in the first half, he acts nothing more than a happy 5-year-old child. He's just overly happy about everything, and how he portrays it is unrealistic. He's just too into Mary Jane, and everything about him in the first half of the movie is just way too unrealistic. First off, when have these Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies ever been realistic? But second of all, did you see Kirsten Dunst in this movie? I mean, wow! Wow. In all seriousness, though, I do agree that they did play Peter to be a little too happy in the first half. Maybe that was the setup sort of idea they had, where he's all happy, but then his life gets turned around when he gets hit by the symbiote. Oh, and I'd just like to take some time out to mention the symbiote. It just falls randomly from the sky and hits Peter's bicycle? Like, what? Yeah, I don't get it. Like, it's never explained, like, how the symbiote actually fell. I guess that's just a minor nitpick, but still, come on, you can't give like any explanation. It just fell. I don't get it. But back to Peter. So yeah, so he's like lip syncing along as the play extravaganza is Mary Jane. She goes on Broadway, and so he's lip syncing like what she's singing, and it just doesn't work. But then we get to the second half of the movie when the symbiote starts to like form over him and take effect, and this is great, right? We get Black Suit Spider-Man. Wrong. Instead, we got something even more horrifying. The scariest thing you will ever see in any Spider-Man related material. Forget about Carnage. He's just a baby character compared to this. I give you Emo Peter. Oh yes, he's going to tear into Emo Peter. Well, not exactly. You see, I honestly found Emo Peter sort of funny. I'm sorry, I did, but that doesn't make him any less out of place. The problem is, we have a scene with Emo Peter and Gwen Stacy in a jazz club. So Emo Peter, he's swinging from the ceiling on a chair. There's like a chair underneath him, and he's swinging on it. And then he twirls Gwen Stacy around a little bit, and then we get a scene immediately following that where Peter hits Mary Jane, and then he tries to think about how this, and then he starts to realize how the symbiote is changing him. Don't exactly go hand in hand, do they? Now, I'm fine with comedic moments in superhero movies. I loved the first two Spideys to death. But you need to make it consistent. You can't just expect us to immediately take a dramatic scene seriously right after we have an emo guy who looks drunk as he's dancing around at a jazz club that his ex-girlfriend works at so he can impress her while dancing with a damsel in distress that we were just introduced to. Yeah. Then we have what I consider the main villain, Sandman. Now, they try to give him sort of a sympathetic angle by having him have a dying daughter. A dying daughter whose name you don't even remember. Seriously, you couldn't show more screen time of the daughter, but anyway. The problem, though, with this is that despite us barely seeing the daughter at all, so that takes away from the sympathy we have for him. He's not on screen long enough, in the movie long enough, so that we can feel sorry for him. At the end, he just kind of blows away. Did he die? Did he just leave? And he's just going back to his home? Maybe he's going to rob another bank. We don't know. Spider-Man didn't stop him. But Spider-Man sure as heck tried in one awesome train fight. Like, it was in the subway fight, I guess. But it was incredible. You have, if you just want to see this movie, just so you can, just see this movie until you get to this part, then you can stop. Keep going, though, because you get to Venom, which we'll talk about in a couple of minutes. Or a couple seconds, maybe. I don't know how long I'm going to keep rambling, but I'm just telling you, this train scene, some of the greatest action I've seen in a superhero movie ever. Check it out. Venom! Oh yeah. Now this character that doesn't get much screen time, but I'm happy with what I'm happy that we at least got him and all. Sure, you want him to have some more time on screen, but I'm just happy that we got him. So, Venom, just look him up. It's gonna take okay, let me try to explain the best I can. Eddie Brock, rival of Peter Parker at the newspaper place that Peter Parker works at, Daily Bugle. And so basically what happens in this movie is he takes a colored picture of Spider-Man, and it's like Photoshop. Yeah, that's the program, I think. And so then after that, he gets fired from the Daily Bugle, and then he prays that Peter Parker dies, but then Peter Parker is getting the symbiote off as he finds out that the church bells are the reason that he can get the symbiote off. The symbiote goes and contacts with Venom, with Eddie Brock, then he becomes Venom, which is this character that you see in this picture. And as you can tell, this CGI is amazing. It really is. It's just incredible. It's incredible for 2007, and he looks good now too. It was cool seeing him. I thought they did a good job with his character. Just maybe if he was there a little longer, but everybody knows that he should have been there longer, so I don't need to keep harping on that. And the final villain, the New Goblin. Now, we don't see him too much either, but we see him more than Venom, but that's not that hard to do. But yeah, he's okay. I mean, it's not the greatest villain you'll ever see, but he and Peter have a pretty impressive fight. And like I said, the fights, I mean, they're amazing in this movie. That's what I think these Spider-Man movies have always been good at, the action. They have some of the best action I've ever seen in comic book movies. It's just unbelievable what they could do, and they keep getting better every single time. But yeah, he's okay. We don't see him too long, and then in the end he teams up and becomes sort of like a hero. And to the people complaining about that, not the people who are complaining because the butler waited to tell Harry about it, because, yeah, that is a huge plot hole. But to the people who are complaining, like the fact that when Peter told him, Harry wouldn't listen, but when the butler told him everything was okay, that's because he was in the mindset that Peter killed his uncle. It's not like he's gonna believe Peter, but when the butler tells him, yeah, he's gonna believe it now because he actually has a witness. So I'm complaining to those people, not to the people who are like, it doesn't make sense because why didn't the butler tell him before? Because, yeah, a major plot hole there. But while reviewing this movie, I think I realized something. Remember at the beginning of this video how I said I liked Spider-Man 3? Maybe I should have reworded that. I appreciate Spider-Man 3. I don't like it. I appreciate it. While I do still somewhat get enjoyment out of it, I don't like it. I appreciate what has been done in the movie. That the writers, director, that they worked hard to make a movie that shouldn't have been made good. It wouldn't have been made like this. The problem was, it was a combination of two different visions. Raimi wanted Sandman to team up with the New Goblin. That's at least what a source I read said. However, the studio wanted it to be a symbiote story. The studio wanted Venom. The studio wanted Gwen Stacy. None of these characters would have been included. They shouldn't have been included. But they were. Unfortunately. And I think that is how this movie fell. This is how the movie fell flat on its face. That is why it failed. That is why many do not like it. But maybe they don't realize the background behind it. This was not the intentions of what the movie was going to be. And I think that maybe, just maybe, Sony should have left the vision to the director. Why? Because he directed the first two Spider-Man movies, and they are hailed as some of the greatest comic book movies ever made. But no, the studio just got too involved. And that is why Spider-Man 3 was not up to par. However, it could be a lot worse.
Spider-Man does whatever a spider can. Spins a web any size, catches thieves just like flies. Look out, here comes the Spider-Man. Is he strong? Lives in blood. He's got radioactive blood. Can he swing from a thread? Take a look overhead.